What is up, everybody? It's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Rockwood Island renovation video. So the house that we're going to be furnishing today is the Lilly House. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and I made this house for a couple of grandparents and their grandchildren. So they have like a guest room, you know, when the grandkids come over. So this house might be a little bit controversial, y'all, because I kind of went with a maximalist, eclectic kind of vibe for this house. So there's going to be a lot of colors, patterns, prints, and stuff like that. I think this is one of those kind of houses where, like, if you look at it on a first glance, it looks ugly, but the longer you look at it, you know, the more it kind of grows on you, and that's kind of the vibe that I wanted to kind of go for anyway. Because, like, when you do, like, maximalist stuff, especially, like, in The Sims, to me, it just kind of looks off, but the longer you look at it, you know, it'll look better after a while. I was really inspired by the decor to the Max kit from The Sims 4 when I was, like, building this house. So, as you can see, we have some butterflies on the wallpaper, and the butterflies are kind of like one of the driving forces for this build. So, in my brain, the grandma is a retired biologist, and she used to work at a butterfly esplanade. So if you have the Sims 3 Late Night expansion pack and you go to Bridgeport, you'll see that there's this lot in that world that has like a big dome. Inside of it, there's a bunch of butterflies. And I was like, maybe the grandma used to work at one of those kind of like places or whatever. And in my brain, I'm like, that's probably why she likes butterflies so much. You know, the grandpa, on the other hand, he's really into animals, you know, so he likes a lot of like, you know, animals from around the world. So he likes lions and cheetahs and stuff like that, and snakes. So I kind of feel like the house was a mishmash of both of their personalities in a way. So you'll see we have a lot of butterfly accents, like on the runner in the hallway. I used like the butterfly rug from the Generations pack, and I barely ever used that one. So yeah, this house is like a mishmash, but I think it kind of turned out good in the end. So as you can see, we're in the living room. I used the movie stuff fireplace. It has cobras on it, and I also use these base game love seats, which I never used. I think a part of it is because they look super fancy, and in most of my like family builds, I don't really ever need a couch that fancy. Plus this is kind of expensive, so I never used these couches, but I was like, when else would I use them other than for a house like this? So I decided to use them. I also put like a little palm tree tropical print on them, so if you look close enough, you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, I kind of feel like it added to the zaniness and to the like maximalism kind of vibe for this house. I also ended up using a nice coffee table. I don't remember what set it comes with. It might be the Indian set from the Sims 3 store, but I don't really remember. I also used this little bump out space in the corner just to kind of add a computer desk in here. So at first I was going to use the one from the Seasons pack, but then I was like, no, CJ, let's look for something different. So I ended up using the one from the Oh My Goth set. I also used the matching chair to go with it, and it took me a while to kind of figure out what color scheme I wanted to go for. You know, I didn't want it to be black, but then I was like, well, maybe black looks better. I did go back, however, and added a circular rug by the computer desk just to kind of add some more color in the room. You'll see it in the screenshots at the end of the video. I do need to also go back and playtest this house, because whenever I playtest it, I always get so confused, because I'm like, I'll try to have a sim go to a room and then the sim won't be able to, and then I'll find out later that it wasn't me. It was just like the doors were rotated the opposite way. So I'm gonna playtest this house before I put it up for download. By the time this video comes out, it will be playtested, but I have to remind myself to do it, you know. I also added a bookshelf in here, and I also added like a little mirror in that room as well. And then now this is me just kind of working backwards. I went back to the hallway to add like a chair in here. I also recolored some of the paintings in here as well, just so they could be a different color scheme and stuff. But moving on, this is the kitchen. So the kitchen kind of reminds me of McDonald's, but not in a good way, y'all. Like, there's a lot of burgundy and yellow or gold and brown. It's kind of giving a McDonald's color scheme in here, so I don't know. But I think the kitchen does look nice though. It kind of reminds me of fall time in a way. So at first I was going to use the storybook countertops. I told y'all I'm trying to get in the habit of using stuff that I don't normally use. However, I was like, maybe I'm using them a little bit too much lately, so I went back and swapped them out with the Edwardian kitchen set from the Sims 3 store. But the only like problem with this set and like a lot of the other sets on the Sims 3 store is that they don't really come with upper cabinets. So I had to kind of get creative. So I was like, maybe I could kind of make a makeshift functional like shelf or something like that to kind of have above the stove. However, I found out that you can't slot anything on that little light object, so I had to like remove them. So what I ended up doing was kind of making like a little makeshift shelf situation. So I ended up deleting the original shelf. It also functions as a light, by the way, but I ended up deleting it, and then I went back and I used some of the shelves from the Generations pack, and I thought they looked a little bit better. Like, yeah, as you can see, this is just me now trying to like place stuff up there, and it didn't work, unfortunately, so I ended up using some of the shelves from Generations, as you can see, and these actually are functional. You can use them as shelves, so I kind of put like a little piggy bank on one of them. I also ended up putting like a bag of flour and a little plant just to kind of have some clutter, you know. I also used one of the tables from the base game, and I used the matching chairs to kind of go with it. I just thought the color scheme of the table kind of looked really good in here, and then I wanted to make sure that I turned off move objects. I didn't want to run into a situation where you could only use like a couple of chairs and not all of them, so I turned off move objects. Your Sims should be able to use all of the chairs. I am going to playtest again just to kind of make sure though, but that's pretty much everything for the kitchen. I ended up like putting a rug underneath it as well, and then now we're moving on to the first bathroom. So this one is downstairs. I ended up using those country kitchen counters from the base game. I noticed that I don't really use those all too often except for like, you know, budget builds, so I kind of wanted to use them in here. They kind of had a nice vibe. I went with the blue and white color scheme in here. This wallpaper kind of reminds me of one of the ones from The Sims 4, the one that comes with the decor to the max kit. It kind of reminds me of that one, so I kind of wanted to channel some Sims 4 vibes in the bathroom, if that makes sense. So at first I was going to use a tub in the bathroom, but then I found out that there was not going to be enough room for a tub, a shower, and a sink, so I ended up using a shower from the base game. I put a couple of these country kitchen counters in here. I used a mirror from the base game as well, and I also used a toilet from the base game. And I just kind of thought that the bathroom looked really nice. Like, I really did like the blue and the white. So moving on upstairs, we have the first bedroom. So this is where the grandparents sleep. I wanted to put a canopy bed up here at first, but then I was like, that's way too big, and it just didn't look right for the bedroom. So I used this other one from the, I think it's like one of the Diva sets, Devo set from the Sims 3 store. I ended up using that in here, and it took me a long time to figure out what pattern to put on the bed. I knew I wanted it to be butterfly, but I didn't really know what color I wanted to go for. So at first it was blue, then it was purple. I had to like pause the recording a lot of times just to kind of get the color scheme right. I wanted to use different butterflies. It was a whole thought process just for this bed, y'all. But in the end, I went with a like purpley teal blue color in here, if that makes sense. I used this nice rug from the base game. I put like a nice end table, and then I was trying my best to put a dresser in here. Now, as you can see, like, I don't think there was enough room for a dresser, but I tried to squeeze one in the corner. I used one of the ones from the Sims 3 store. I need to just make sure that a Sim can get around this space. I think they can, but if they can't, I'm gonna have to, like, take this dresser out, unfortunately. But I thought it looked kind of cool in here, though. I did, however, off camera, go back and add, like, a little chair in this bedroom just to kind of have something here. So I used one of the ones from the Oh My God set. I used, like, a little, like, flower lamp, and I put some butterflies up in here as well. I also used those same butterflies in the next room. So the next room is going to be for the grandchildren, you know, whenever they come to visit, or it could just also be a guest room if you needed it to be. But I kind of wanted to make this into like a guest room just in case you download this and, you know, maybe you just need it for a family, you know. So I did put like another bedroom in here as well. Originally, I was going to make this bedroom into like a little mini butterfly sanctuary. However, I realized that you can't really get like the butterfly like in the cages. You can't really get them in by debug like you can in The Sims 4, which is so unfortunate. So like the best thing I could have done was to put down butterfly spawners, but that wasn't really gonna fit the vibe for this kind of house. So I was like, we could just kind of turn this into a spare bedroom, you know. It's kind of a little unfortunate though, because I really wanted to use those butterfly like objects, but yeah, I couldn't really do that, unfortunately. But you know, this bedroom is really cute. You know, I went with a like little rainbow cloud wallpaper. We have like some of the objects from Generations, like the bunk bed and the nightstand and stuff like that. I ended up putting one of those little flower rugs from Generations and like that little light source from Generations as well, just to kind of, you know, like have a nice kids room. I also recolored the toy box, and I found that it had a butterfly swatch, and I was like, oh, we have got to put that in here as well. But that's pretty much it for the grandparents room slash guest room, you know. I also found like these flower lamps from Seasons, I believe, and I put those in here. I don't think I've ever used those for anything, so I kind of thought it looked kind of cool in here too, you know. But the only other room in the house that we have got to furnish is the bathroom. So for the bathroom, it's kind of similar to the one downstairs, but I kind of went with a more like minty color scheme in here as opposed to blue and white. But I ended up using like some of the same objects. So I ended up using a shower, a tub, the same countertops in here as well. At one point, I was going to use a tub in here, but then I found out that this room was just too small for it, so I had to end up using another shower in here. But that's pretty much it though for the entire build, y'all. I really hope that you like the way this one turned out. Let me know how you feel about it down below in the comment section, because I don't know. I think it looks nice, but I don't know. It could also be ugly, so I don't know. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Also, follow me over on Twitch because I stream a lot of The Sims 3 over there, and I also do some building from time to time. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!